Hello, and welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 323 for Friday, October 4th, 2024. Permission Impossible. From Zenatta Consulting, I'm Brett Martin, and happy to be back.
Yeah, welcome back. Actually been a couple weeks, huh?
You know, and I watched last week's show, and you never even mentioned me. I was like,
how did I forget?
Brett'll be back. There was none. I'm like, I've just forgotten. And that was it. And I was happy. I said,
I've got goldfish memory. If you leave for a couple days in a row, I forget you ever existed. It's
probably about right.
My own personal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will be here for the next few weeks at least, so I'm happy to be back, Tyler, and getting things going. Thanks for holding down the fort, as always. We've got a pretty busy Zoho news week, so before we get into that, here's a word from our sponsor.
Are you struggling to get your team trained in using Zoho effectively? Considering the hefty costs of team meetings and onboarding sessions dedicated to Zoho training, there has to be an easier way. Say hello to efficiency with our Zoho team training courses. Zoho CRM made easy. Become a project management pro, top-tier customer support, and maximize your marketing impact. Are you ready to equip your team? Start today at zenatta.com/training and let us lead the way.
Well, Tyler, we're going to start out with some CRM news. New permissions for accessing emails sent via Zoho CRM. My goodness, this is a long time coming. If you don't know, inside Zoho CRM, you have the ability to, connect through IMAP or SMTP, and basically share or POP, I should say, and share all of your emails. So you can go and you can look on an account. You can basically see all the emails. The permissions on this have been lacking since the dawn of time, as far as some privacy issues that you might want to do when sharing your emails. And, well, here it is. It's done. Permissions in place. I don't think that it's perfect, but I think it's better than nothing, and kind of going through and looking at it. I don't know if your thoughts on it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a pretty big improvement. So, previously the way that it worked, for context, is really it was all or nothing, right? You were either completely private, nobody can see your emails, or everybody can see your emails. Now, my understanding is you could essentially set it up as like a role hierarchy where hey, this person reports to me, so I see theirs, but this other person does not report to me, so I can't see theirs. Basically just treating it like your module sharing permissions. So really nice. You're able to slice it down based on read, write, and delete permissions. Most people probably should not have the permission to delete any emails from the system. Really nice across the board. Looks like draft emails will also be visible through the hierarchy. So if someone's working on something, their manager could take a look. Nice to see. So good updates across the board. The more granular we can get with permissions, the better this works for large teams, especially teams with kind of split hierarchies who can't be sharing info across different, organization roles. So really nice. I would imagine most people want to switch over to this ASAP. Even if you do just make the decision and say, hey, I still want it to be public for everybody, you'll still be able to do that. But now for those people who need to get a little bit more granular, you'll have the options that you've been waiting for.
Yeah, I like it. So nice job, Zoho. All right, and moving right along, Kiosk now has a dot release, so Kiosk version 1.1 for Zoho CRM. Tell us about this one, Tyler.
Yeah, so if you scroll down just like an inch, they really have broken this down into two different categories: enhancements for components and enhancements for actions. Components being essentially where users are going to enter data, search for records, right? Like interact. And then actions being all of those things that are automated in the background. So a couple of these, one, being able to add titles to kiosk screens. This is really nice. We were getting away by just putting little like text identifiers, but it's nicer to add a title because it's bigger, it's more bold, makes things more clear. You can now include percentage, URL, and decimal fields to be entered by the users. And you can now give things a name when you have different paths as part of a decision. So that's really good for clarity for the users. On the action side, so things that you can do in between steps, they've added lead conversion, meetings, and calls as things that can be configured in the kiosk. Really nice. Of course, you could do this with a function before, but it's better if you don't have to, just for people who don't want to dive into Deluge just to convert a lead, right, as part of these processes. You're now able to merge values more easily. So this is actually a big deal. There was a bit of weirdness with the way that these fields work, where essentially like when you set it up the first time, and if you actually watch our tutorials on this, you see between the first and the second, I even kind of update my recommendation for how to handle this. But when you think you're merging data from the record, you're kind of not. It was really unclear. So making it easier to pull and push data to those records. And then they're also making it a little bit easier to push the selected data into a create record action. So if you wanted it to, make some type of related record to your deal, that will be a little bit smoother. Definitely recommend for people using Kiosk, go check out this article in more detail. They actually show little screen captures of basically every single addition to kiosks. These are one of those tools, admittedly, that when they first came out, I thought it was a little silly. It's like, okay, what can I do with this that I couldn't just do with a blueprint? They've added a lot here, and they've become very, very useful. And really just keep in mind the core value is that you can run this from anywhere, from a homepage, from a record, from a list view, and it can do a lot of things without being restricted to whatever module it happens to be where you started it. So like we've got one for one of our clients. You started in a deal, and their deals can have 10, 15, 20 different services that are included on this deal. The client might say, hey, I want to go with 10 of these, save the other 5 for later, and I might get those. We've got a kiosk that actually splits that deal into 2 deals, right? Where you're selecting, I'm going to keep these 10 on the deal I started with. I'm going to move these 5 to another, and I'm going to set up a follow-up in 3 months to check in on those. Where doing that with a blueprint would be a massive pain. You'd have to do some really weird stuff. But with a kiosk, it's super elegant. So a lot that you can do with these. Highly recommend trying them out if you're a CRM user, and they're going to continue to invest in adding more functionality to these kiosks.
Yeah. It is a very, very detailed article. So like Tyler said, check it out as well. All right, moving right along. I didn't know this wasn't a thing till I read this morning, but over in Zoho Desk, you can now customize your ticket ID. Just what you think. You can give it, I imagine basically you can give it a prefix, you can give it a suffix, you can give it a starting number, and have your own very nifty little ticket ID in Zoho Desk. Before, it was just random number generation. Is that what it was?
It was just an incrementer, but it only worked one way. So it was basically like the ticket numbers were always going to look the same, where now you can apply your own ticket numbering system. So like before, it was just straight up a number. So like if I look in our Zoho Desk that we use for like system notifications back and forth, it's like 108,538, 108,532, 108,530, just incrementers. We might want to have like Zen dash number, right? Because these go out in a lot of client notifications. They might be using them to like track tickets that matter internally. So being able to give them a naming convention, kind of brand them to yourself a little bit, creates a nicer experience for clients.
I like it. I think it should be Zen dash number dash happy client.
There you go.
That's the ticket. The tickets are always happy client. Well, also in Zoho Desk, speaking of happy client, happy agents, there now is a new extension. We've talked about this before. Oftentimes with Zoho Desk, you want to go to the marketplace. They keep the application pretty simple, but there are a lot of marketplace extensions you can add in that add some nifty functions to Zoho Desk. And in this case, they've got a time tracker for agents. It looks, I have to say, in taking a look at this thing, pretty simple. Basically, the agent can check in, check out, take a break, do some trading, feedback, number of hours they worked, and then it gives you a nice report at the end of the day as to what your agents are doing and what their work hours are. I think people probably like to see this in a lot of different applications. We've talked about this before, right? From a time tracking perspective. So anyway, there you go. So Zoho Desk has a nifty new agent.
One really cool thing with this that they could do over time is if there's any API available for this. A common request for clients is when a ticket comes in, round robin it with people that are at their desk.
Yep.
Right. That is like a big one, especially for clients who have short SLAs, like we're going to respond within an hour. It doesn't work if it round robins to me, but I'm out sick today. Right. That now adds 8 hours to your response time. So if there is some way to like query this and see they're checked in or they're not, this could be used for a lot of automations that are commonly requested. Really nice, though. I mean, we do have a lot of clients who have team members who essentially spend all their time in desk. A common point of feedback is we want to track all their time, but we only get the time tracking when they're actively working on a ticket, right? Because you can automatically track it when they have a ticket open. So they're highlighting here like, well, what if someone is working on updating knowledge base articles today? Well, now none of that time would be tracked if you're just doing it on a ticket basis. So really nice to see. I'd imagine lots of people are going to enjoy this, especially you have those dedicated support teams where like 9 a.m., I open up desk, I'm in desk for the day. Now you'll be able to track that time in totality a lot more easily.
And speaking of knowledge base, Tyler, if you were working knowledge base, maybe one of those things that you were doing was rearranging your tickets because, you couldn't do that before, or your knowledge base articles. There was no ability to sort by a custom order. You had modified time and create time. Basically, it was the most recent article was always up there at the top. And now, guess what? You can have a custom order for your knowledge base articles so they show up in the order you would like them to show up. That is crazy. It wasn't there this whole time.
We had a client a long time ago. I don't know if they listen to the podcast regularly, but if you're listening, you know who you are, where we had to go in because before you could just organize it by like last touch was like last update to the article. So to get them updated before their go live, they're rolling out a new software product. We had to go in one by one, add a letter, save the article, go back in, remove the letter, save the article so that the most recent update time would be in the right order that we wanted. Very silly, and they had a lot of articles. So it took them a couple hours to go through and do this.
Get them all in the order that they wanted.
Just to get them in the order that they wanted, because they know that like reset password, it might be the first one I wrote, but it's going to be one of the most commonly used knowledge base entries. And so, they had to go through and just like arbitrarily update every single article to get them in order. So this is really nice. It's a need to have. I'm kind of surprised. That was a couple of years ago that we did that. So kind of surprised that this hasn't been updated since then, but still happy to see it getting rolled out.
All right, nice job, Desk team. And moving along over to marketing automation. So we talk about this. You've got Zoho campaigns, you've got Zoho marketing automation. These are, as you would expect, marketing tools that allow you to basically interact with your audiences in various ways, whether it's through email, SMS, social media. And so in this case, Zoho marketing marketing automation now has Instagram integration, which is pretty big since Instagram is kind of one of the main platforms that's out there right now. So you can now upload, could automatically post to Instagram. You couldn't do it before. And so it's pretty nice.
Yes, like little update. It does. No, it always invites that question. We're a broken record at this point. What is marketing automation? Because it has tools that are like Zoho Social, but not as good. So you could run your social campaigning out of marketing automation, but that would be worse than doing it out of Zoho Social, right? And a lot of the like Marketing Plus, as an example, the bundle includes both of them. But so you can do better email marketing follow-up if you do the worst social media management on it. It turns into such a web. I'd always loved that idea that was floated a while ago for marketing automation to be an umbrella and just bring in campaigns and social and all of those into a consolidated environment. I don't know if that's still the plan, seeing updates like this come out, but one day it'll all make sense. We'll see the light break through the clouds and we'll understand what their plan is with this application. Mm-hmm. But until then, we'll keep everyone in the loop with any updates that come out.
You've gotten rather optimistic in the last 2 weeks since I've been out. I'm not so certain about that at all. I know we are now moving, right? We are leaving campaigns and moving to marketing automation.
So if you're breaks.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do it. Let us know how your newsletter arrives on Monday morning, because we're making that change soon, I'm told. There's a whole lot that went into it, too. I mean, it's not trivial. You think, oh, we'll just turn it on. No, there's all kinds of problems if you're using campaigns anyway. A lot goes into this. So anyway, marketing automation team, good job. And I guess with that, let's get on into our implementation of the week.
All right. So implementation this week is one that Bruno and I have been working on for a while. This is a custom integration for Zoho CRM and Recruits. So working in this case with a recruiting company that uses CRM to sell the new clients who need certain job offerings opened up. And then they use Recruit to actually staff candidates into those job openings. So for step one, we're actually using the native integration between CRM and Recruit. They have a really nice one where you can essentially easily set it up to create job openings based on deals being won in CRM. That kind of kicks off the handoff between sales and recruiting. That's kind of all it does, though. And a lot of people are going to want additional updates back to CRM. So that's where the custom work comes in. Essentially, we set up a couple workflows and automations in the Recruit side, where at certain points in the job openings process, data is written back to CRM to make sure that it knows what's going on. Reason being is that even though the recruiting team is kind of managing the process at this point, the client would oftentimes call the salesperson, because that's like what number is saved in their phone, right? To ask about, hey, what's going on? How many candidates have we gotten? Have any of them had interviews yet? So we're kind of figuring out where those certain checkpoints are and then updating back to the deal so that salesperson has the data handy if the client happens to call them rather than the recruiter. Then lastly, once we have a candidate or multiple candidates, because sometimes we're saying, hey, we want 3 people that we're going to staff. But once that job opening has been completely filled, we actually write that candidate data back to CRM and link it underneath the deal so that, again, we have that full visibility for the long term on the CRM side. And Recruit is really just serving as like a workspace for the hiring process, but it doesn't have to be that long-term database that everybody uses in order to know how hiring went and which candidates were staffed and hired to that particular job opening. Also helps us on the billing side. Billing is primarily managed from CRM in this case, so having all that data readily available just makes life a whole lot easier. So yeah, over time, we've actually seen more and more people in like the recruiting and staffing industry moving over to Zoho. This combo of the way CRM and Recruit work together is really nice. They also have very similar UIs. So if you have teams that are working in both apps, they're almost identical, yeah. So if you do have a user that's cross-functional, right? Like they don't need to learn 2 languages, right? Like they know the modules, they know the fields, they know the layouts. It's pretty much the same thing. So it's pretty easy for people to pick up one if they already know the other. And it does create just a really nice workflow that's easy to track, easy to report on, and highlights any of those touch points on both sides that the team needs in order to provide updates to their client.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Recruit and CRM and FSM all kind of share the whole.
And Workerly. We don't use it a lot, but Workerly is just CRM as well.
That's right. Very, very cool. Nice job. Who's Tyler? Oh,
I don't know.
Nice job, Bruno and Tyler.
Fired him.
All righty. And with that, let's head over to Club Zenatta and check out our Code Share of the Week. All right, Alex is back with a Zoho creator script to easily download files from a subform using an API. So I'm assuming this is from CRM, right? You've got, or is this a subform in Creator?
Like you're pulling the subform. This all comes from Creator. I'd imagine the case here is you have some type of form that that is hosted in Creator where you're capturing multiple different attachments. Like maybe you send out a form and you pre-fill a subform with, I need your W-9, I need your this, I need your that. And then when that form is submitted, maybe you want to send it to CRM, maybe you want to send it to WorkDrive. But step one is actually going and getting those attachments out of the subform. And then whatever you want to do, hey, that's on you. If you're crazy, you can send them to OneDrive, who knows. But this will give you an easy path just to get those attachments out into a format that you can then use to send somewhere else. So that's kind of the big takeaway here, is just making that process a whole lot easier.
Fantastic. Nice job, Alex. And as always, if you don't know, Club Zenatta is our online social platform. You can meet with other like-minded Zoho fanatics and discuss various things. We would love to have you there. It's very weird. I'm trying to figure out how these articles. I've noticed this recently. They start in some sort of order. It looks like it's been dead for a week, huh? But then they go back. So we must have some pinning going on here, huh?
Yeah, or maybe comments. Maybe a new comment bumps it to the top.
Oh, maybe that's what
how it works.
Yeah, could very well be. 20 hours ago, Andrew was commenting on it. There it is. Got it. Anyway, this is you've got our general discussion. You've got our code share. You've got things we noticed, things you noticed, things that are noticed. Because sometimes with Zoho, there's no news story. There's no announcement. Stuff just changes, and it's a place to discuss those changes. All the Zoho news. If you got a question that you'd like us to answer in one of our videos, you can go to Ask Zenatta Anything About Zoho and type it in there. We would love it if you would join our community, and all we require is your email. No cash, not yet. Down the road, we're going to charge you a fortune. No, just kidding. It's free. Anyway, head on over to club.zenatta.com and join the community. We'd really appreciate it. And with that, let's head over to Zenatta, regular Zenatta, not with a club in front of it, and see what we've got for our blog of the week. All righty. Choosing the right online appointment scheduling software. It's a nice article. We kind of run through all of the, some of the major players that are out there. Calendly, Setmore, Acuity Scheduling, and Zoho Bookings, which is Zoho's version. I'm going to make it easy for you. Don't even bother reading the article. Just get Calendly or Acuity and call it a day. You'll be happy. They both integrate perfectly with Zoho. You don't have any issues. If you have a very, very, very limited subset of stuff, sure, you can give Zoho Bookings a try. There you go.
Yeah, later. Zoho Bookings, it works all right for cases where everything on the calendar is going to be booked through Bookings. So like we had a client who has people in a location and they provide tours, and you can book these tours. There's no other meetings that go on their calendars. So Bookings actually works really well for them. The scenario like where you have internal meetings and external meetings and all these things, and not everything's going to go through it, is where it starts to get a little bit risky. And you might want to pony up for Calendly, Acuity, one of these other tools. Setmore can also be good if you are pretty cost sensitive. It is very inexpensive out of this bunch. I remember when we priced out, we would save some money moving over there. It just wasn't as seamless as Calendly, and we're pretty picky. But it is worth a look if you're more cost sensitive on this and maybe want to start with a cheaper option to try it out.
Yeah. And it all does depend on what you're trying to do. I mean, we've settled on Calendly because it literally does virtually anything. You can do round robins. You can do collectives. It's checking everybody's calendar in real time. It's just so much that it does that we just can't do with some of these others. So, and it just works. It literally just works. So, and that's kind of what you want when someone's booking a meeting with you. And if you don't know, if you haven't checked out Zenatta before, if you go to zenatta.com and you click on our resource library, This is where you will find all of the applications and all of the tutorials and articles that we have on each and every one of them. So you can click into any application, and basically we've organized all of the tools that might help you get going with whatever that application is. We also give you the pricing, the breakdown, what bundles it's included in, and then again, all of our videos and all of our articles related to each and every product. And we tell you what we think about those products. Are they best in class? Are they really, really good applications that probably will work for most organizations? Or, hey, maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't. It depends on your specific organization. You see bookings falls in there, just like we were talking about. It might work, it might not. So we're taking a look at our resource library. This is really where the rubber meets the road when it comes to all of the resources we've developed to help you with the successful Zoho implementation. And now, Tyler, let's head over to the YouTube and check out our tip of the week.
The YouTube. Then the Google.
The Google. I'm on the World Wide Web. Hey, we've got Wayne, our director of marketing, talking about Zoho Forms getting a little bit of a makeover. Was this like an unannounced kind of thing? They just made a bunch of little changes.
So. Yeah, I think Wayne just noticed. He was in there making some forms for us, and he noticed, hey, this is
actually
different.
It was a things we noticed over on Club Zenatta. It was a post. Somebody posted.
Okay.
And that's how we made the video.
Very nice. Look at that.
Wow. The voice of Freddie. You never hear Freddie's voice very much, but there.
Angel from above.
Freddie coming in. Yeah, so evidently a lot of people are interested in this because almost 457 people in 2 days looking at these enhancements. But he basically is covering some of the new changes that have been made inside of Zoho Forms that we didn't notice. We've noticed now. One person points out that the embed field started in June or July, right? So another one we missed, right? But the month year is new and the theme builder's new. So everybody's cool stuff. So if you are a Zoho Forms user, please go ahead and check out this. It's just a little short one. We don't really mess around here. We don't do a lot of fluff. Our videos have to be more than 10 minutes long. This one's 5 minutes long, to the point, covers the various changes and how you can use them. If you don't already, we would love it if you would head over to youtube.com/Zenatta and subscribe to our channel. That way, hit the little bell so you get announcements every time we drop a video. We're up to 706 videos. Soon we will be at 20,000 subscribers. It's just a few weeks away, maybe a week, 2 weeks. That's where we keep everything. And we would love it if you would support us over here. We hope you find our videos useful. But that's all on our YouTube channel. There you go. Well, Tyler, I felt a little rusty. Was I a little rusty? Did it feel the same? No?
You felt fine. I've been under the weather all week, so between the two of us, we're just limping to the finish line here. So hopefully everybody still got what they needed, covered our news, got everybody in the loop.
You've got, you're not feeling well. You buried the lead there.
Yeah, it seems like every time I travel nowadays, something goes wrong. But feeling overall okay. Earlier in the week was definitely worse. So,
you think you got the vid?
I don't think so. Just sore throat.
I think everybody that's it. From now on, that's all anybody has. Well, you got COVID. So, it'll be like that for the next 20 years, till the next pandemic. Anyway, there you go. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. As always, we would love to talk to you. Would you like to talk to us? How we can help you with Zoho, what we can do for you? Well, here's what you do. You head over to Zenatta.com. In the upper right-hand corner, you click book a meeting. And in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, Tyler and I will be there, or Josh, one of us will be talking to you and helping you with Zoho.
Wheels just coming off the wagon here. And on the website is also where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to all the stories we discussed today. If you want that news delivered to your inbox every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And last but not least, we always appreciate when you like and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as your choice of podcast app. We'll see you next Friday.
The CRM Zen Show was produced by Podcaster Zen.
I got me the Zoho and I got me the YouTube. Yep. Got me the Podcaster Zen. I even got the Instagram. All kinds of things. Have a great weekend, everybody.